Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be diving into a topic which most of you guys have asked me a lot many times, and that is how to take great photos with your phone. Now in this video, I'm specifically going to be talking about iPhone, but if you use any other phone, feel free to watch because most of the tips and tricks are very general and can be used on any phone. So with that, let's begin with it. Now most of the people who buy an iPhone buy it for its camera. But as soon as they start using the camera, the photos out of it don't come as they expected it to be. But not an issue. In this video, we are going to discuss everything which goes into taking a great shot. So before you start using your camera app, there are some settings on your phone which you can switch on or off to make the shooting experience much better. So let's dive into the camera settings. The first thing I see is format. My is set to high efficiency. You can set it to most compatible also depending upon the size of photos you want. Pro raw and resolution control is on and nothing else. So the grid should be on every time. Level also should be on every time. It helps you to frame the shot in the correct way possible. And I guess nothing else. Lens correction and all these are on. And yeah, so this has to be the worst and the best part about Apple is they don't give you so much things to control, but whatever things they give are enough for you to get the perfect shot. Now, many people, when they don't get the perfect shot, blame it on the camera. But the thing which is lacking actually is your basics in photography. And I feel if your basics are clear, be it any camera, you'll get the perfect shot. So let's begin with the first thing you need to know. So one of the key element of photography is composition. It's all about how you frame your shot and place the elements within it. Here are some tips to help you compose your images better with a phone. First up is rule of thirds. This is one of the most basic and powerful composition technique. Turn on the grid in your camera settings. This divides your screen into 9 equal parts with 2 horizontal and 2 vertical lines. Place your subjects along these lines or at an intersection to create a balanced and engaging photo. Next, let's talk about leading lines. These are lines which lead the viewer's eye through the photo to the subject. Roads, pathways, fences, shadows can act as leading lines in your photos. The best part about this is they add depth and perspective to your photo. Next thing is framing. Look for natural frames within the scene like windows, doorways and branches and use them as frames. Framing can add depth, context and focus to your shots. The next thing is symmetry and patterns. Symmetry and patterns are visually appealing. Symmetrical shots are very powerful. They convey a feeling of balance and harmony. You can look out for natural or man-made patterns around you. Next is negative space. Negative space refers to the empty space around your subject. It can help your subject stand out and create a very minimalistic look. Using negative space effectively can add a dramatic effect to your photos. Next is perspective and angle. Don't be afraid to change your perspective. Try shooting from high above ground level or any unusual angle which makes the image look different. Changing your viewpoint can make any ordinary scene extraordinary. And the last one in composition is depth. Adding depth to your photos make them much more dynamic. Use foreground, middle ground or background to create layers in your images. This adds a three-dimensional feel to your two-dimensional photos. Now these were the different types of composition and tricks which you can use to create extraordinary images, and feel free to combine and mix all these things together to create some great photos. So the next thing we're going to talk about is lighting. So lighting can make or break your photos. But here are some tips which you can use to get the best lighting possible. First is natural light. See, whenever possible, use natural light. Early morning or late afternoon light, called the golden hour, gives a warm, soft glow to your photos which is perfect for photography. So the second thing which you want to do is avoid the harsh midday sun. But if you're shooting in the middle of the day, look for shaded areas. That helps you avoid harsh shadows and blown out highlights. The third thing is use the phone's flash as low as possible. The phone's flash can be too harsh and create unflattering shadows. Instead, try to find a better light source or buy a external LED light. So these were all the tips for the lighting which you can consider while shooting photos. Now all the lighting and composition rules are clear. Let's move on to the camera app. The camera app on the iPhone is really simple. There's not much to it when it comes to shooting, but there are a couple of things which I always keep in my head before shooting. The first one has to be exposure. Now it's really important to expose your image rightly. Too much light can leave you with no highlight details, which is the bright part in the image, or too much dark can leave no details in the shadow, which is the dark part. So to set the exposure, tap on the screen and change the exposure with the meter and set it to a level which seems right. It helps you keep the details of highlights and shadow in the image, which you can obviously tweak in editing. Now if you want to explore more options, there are apps like Moment which provide you plenty of options to play around with. It has all manual control where you can change everything, the shutter speed, ISO according to your liking. Now there's an option in iPhone to select the filter. I personally love dramatic filter because it has that muted color profile and high contrast. So that is my pick. You can obviously choose depending upon your liking and shoot with that. In the iPhone app, there are some advanced techniques also which you can use to elevate your iPhone photography. The first one is portrait. Portrait mode uses the depth effect to create a DSLR-like image. Those beautiful blurred background which obviously helps you to get that blurry background when you are shooting a portrait, which gives the separation to the subject. The other technique is night mode. Night mode allows you to take amazing low light photos by using a longer exposure. Keep your hand steady or use a tripod for best results. Now we are done shooting, let's hop on to post-processing. Firstly, talking about the stock iPhone editing app, it is amazing. It has every feature which you would need to edit the image correctly. You can adjust exposure, tint, saturation, highlight, shadows, everything whatever you want. But if you want to step up a little, I personally use Lightroom, but there are apps like Snapseed which are free, and I have used that app a lot and has many features to play around with. So there you have it, some tips and tricks to get the most out of your iPhone. Whether you are just starting out or looking to improve your skills, remember that the best camera is the one you have with you. But if you really want to improve, keep experimenting, keep shooting, and the most important, have fun. If you found this video helpful, drop down a like, subscribe to my channel, support your boy, and comment whatever you liked about this video or whatever you want me to make for you guys. And yeah, happy shooting.